How to teach students the PDCA, Session 2. My name is Andre Lim. I'm the Director for Lanka Institute of Quality Management. In this session here, we will look at how humans solve problems. If you look at the normal way of thinking, how human beings solve problems, it is not just a mental task. It includes the reasoning and the execution. The problem is that people are always in a hurry to solve problems. They will execute without understanding what is the problem. And therefore, they will become very frustrated. Sometimes they are so eager that they don't even have a proper plan. And so they are just rushing into the execution, which will lead the problem solver into dead ends. And then what happens is they will have to restart again. One classic example for creative problem solving is Archimedes. Now everybody knows this story here. He has a problem to know whether or not the crown of the king is pure or not, or sometimes they have hollowed it out even though it's made of pure gold. And so he went to take a bath, and then he found, of course you know the story, that he looked at the water being displaced and he had an insight. And this insight is what we call a eureka moment or an aha moment. And he rushed out and he had this great happiness. That's what happens when we solve problems, when we get an idea. We are very happy. Now, what is the difference between learning and thinking? Here is a puzzle box for an animal. This animal has to press this button so that this latch gets lifted out. Then the door opens and then the animal can escape, and there's a reward out here for this animal. And you look at this here. He's learning to solve this problem here, right? His thinking means he's remembering. And you can see he took 240 seconds, first time to escape. Second time 180, a bit more than 240 the first time. Third time 240. The fourth time it goes down, up and down, because this animal is trying different ways to step out. Of course, the more intelligent you are, the easier for you to solve the problem. And in the end, he managed to escape less than a minute. So there's a correlation between learning and thinking. But the problem is that we soon get into a pattern of trying and trying again. We have this saying that if you first don't succeed, try and try again. But actually there is a problem. By trying over and over again, you're only doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's why you need to apply lateral thinking, or thinking out of the box. Try a different way of doing things. Try a different way of thinking. It is easier to solve problem solving if we are using an appropriate strategy. In other words, an aid, a framework to problem solving. The PDCA is one such framework. Here are others. This is a simple 4-step as well. The preparation means you are formulating a problem and making initial attempt to trying to solve it. Two small little trials. Let's turn this knob here, let's turn that knob there. Incubation, okay? Incubation is like an egg, you have to incubate it before it hatches. So you have to leave the problem for a while. Consider many things. You know the saying, let me sleep over it. Let's sleep over it, okay? It's incubation. Then illumination. When we have an idea, when the ideas all come together, during the incubation stage, we are thinking, pondering, we are visiting and looking at things at different angles and directions. Then we have an insight, an aha moment, a eureka moment. Then verification is the next step, where we test and carry out to find out the solutions to the problem. Problem solving is being able to solve an intelligible problem for which a method of solution is not immediately obvious and presenting it. So the 4 keywords are problem, solution, well defined, and then presenting it. So we are looking at problems to solve. You have to remember that a problem can only be solved once. Once you solve a problem and you have a way to solve it and you repeat it again, it is not called problem solving anymore. It is called a technique. But sometimes you can solve the same problem different ways. After you have tried to solve a problem, normally what people do, they try to improve it. They try to find new techniques, new ways of doing the same thing. Like if you drive to work in one direction and you say, well, that took me 10 minutes. Let me find another way. Let me find another route. And the next route, maybe it took 12 minutes, so you go back to the old technique or the old way. Then you try again another method. Maybe you ride a bicycle this time to avoid the traffic jam. And then you find another solution. We call this a different technique. If a target has been changed for the same problem, then we call that an improvement. In the creative process in problem solving, you have to watch out for certain things that are obstacles. If you think there is only one right answer, if you think I'm not creative, or you say words like don't be foolish, or to make a mistake is wrong, being afraid to make a mistake, these are obstacles to the creative process. So watch out for this. Creative problem solving strategies must first describe the problem or issue. You must be able to verbalize it. If you can't say what is the problem, you can't really understand what is the problem, you can't solve the problem. You need to catch the problem by saying something about it. Generate some viable ideas. Make sure it's good ideas, not silly ideas. No, viable. Concentrate. Think hard. Don't be foolish. Don't be playful. Time to think hard is now. Select the best ideas. Okay, so there we are. We are trying to be critical in our thinking. So we choose the best ideas. We narrow down. We refine it. Okay, when you have an idea, okay, think about that best idea. That best idea needs some shaping, needs some polishing, needs some refinement. Then you implement the best idea. Finally, evaluate. Evaluation. Did it work? Why did it not work? If not, you have to start all over again and find the best solution. Always look for the best. Before attempting to solve a problem, make sure that the team themselves take time to explore each member's perspective of the issue. The way we look at things, we should ask, like, what is the problem? How does this problem reveal itself to this group? How did this problem come about? Who is experiencing this problem? When does it happen? On what occasion? On what situation? Only on rainy days? Only on sunny days? Only when the teacher is in class? Only when examination time is near? What is this problem here? If it's possible, collect additional information from different sources. Don't just get from one source. Mr. A said, is this problem? Okay, ask another person. Is this experienced by you as well? These data will shed light on the causes of the problem, the size of the problem, the magnitude, and the solutions that have been tried before. What have been done? Why didn't it work? How come it failed? Look at all these things before you try a new way of doing things. Don't rush into solution finding. If groups don't spend time identifying the real problem, they often come up with superficial or ineffective solutions. Well, following the initial discussion the group will have, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again the next time round.